Hello, good morning, and welcome to the Friday edition of the AM show here on Joy News. You know what? We have a lot for you today, and I always say that you need to thank God when He gives you the chance to be part of the living on every day. So this morning, if you haven't said God thank you, please go down your knees and say thank you to the Almighty for making it possible for you to be part of the living. Now, I'm in the Black Star jersey because tomorrow the Champions League final will be coming on, and we're doing the Rep Your jersey at the Aviation Social Center. We're starting at 9 a.m. Until the game is over. So join us. Let's have fun together. Let's, socialize together and support our teams to win. I'm wearing Black Stars. I'll be there in that particular color I have. I'm going to support a team against the one I don't want to cause noise pollution in the world. Which one will you be? Let's meet there tomorrow at 9 a.m. But let's get to the business of today. First, we have some news update for you with Denisia Poma AJ, and then we delve into the news review where the debate over justice reform is gathering momentum as government pushes plans to replace some custodial sentences with community service. That has been on the table for some time, right? Now, supporters say Ghana's overcrowded prisons need urgent relief, but critics are asking whether community sentencing delivers or will deliver accountability or will weaken deterrence as is part of the legal systems of punishment. Now, is this fair justice or will it be a soft approach to crime? We'll delve into that. Now, also from ICU to Wellness Center, government says Ghana's economy is recovering steadily after years of turbulence, inflation shocks, and IMF bad restructuring. But while the macroeconomic indicators may be improving, many Ghanaians say the pressure on their pockets remain intense. So is the recovery being felt beyond statistics? Are you feeling it? Do you feel it in your life? Or is it just the books, the numbers that are being churned out to say the economy is recovering, but your economy, your microeconomy, is actually not improving? We'll delve into that here on the show as well. And spilling tears. Residents in Weija continue to battle flooding fears and destruction following the repeated spillage from the Weija Dam. Now, homes have been submerged, livelihoods disrupted, and frustrations mounting, with many asking whether enough has been done to prevent what is becoming an annual nightmare. We'll delve into that particular one here as well. Now, joining us this morning to have breakfast is political scientist Dr. Kwame Asante. Oh, that's a new baby to the Friday. Former CEO of the Monument Board, Kingsley Ofosu Ntiamwa, Executive Director of the Institute of Economic and Research Policy, Professor Isaac Boadi, and MP Fakultia Bernard Bediako Beido. Well, and then later on, we switch gears for E-Corner, where yours truly, Noella Karian Yale, will be serving us all tea in showbiz. Stay with us from now to 10 a.m. As we go on this journey on the AM show for today, Friday. As we say in my Hunter language, Mabahe, Benyewa, Senze, go do 10 and an onubunu. Mamzi mo yedwene Ghana, Anma Ghana do as well, Ekavadama Babekevia. Na de bla ho bo ave mamane Ghana mo yeden mo ikabla mawo machine be na kishine msebla wase ane wo na mze mo ane yira ajikimu ekra ke ko Ghana. So to it, thank you for joining us here. Let's stay from now to 10 a.m. as we think about Ghana, how Ghana can develop, and thank you for joining us so that wherever what the little you and I can do, we can combine it in the betterment of Mother Ghana. So stay with us. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. I do this every day with MFA Akufo-Addo. On behalf of the production team, I say thank you for choosing us. Please do stay with us.
Hello, good morning. Special greetings from Anfield. My name is Denisia Pomaeje. This is AM News. Now we begin from the very first story. Parliament has moved a step closer to passing the controversial anti-LGBTQ bill after it cleared the second reading stage with support from both sides of the House. The Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee has recommended the bill's approval, reviving legislation that stalled in the 8th Parliament after former President Akufo-Addo declined to assent to it over pending court cases. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Akufo-Addo has more in the following report.
The controversial anti-LGBTQ bill is now back. You will recall that the 8th Parliament did pass this bill, but it did not see the light of day. It did not get presidential assent because at the time, President Akufo-Addo refused to sign it, citing a host of legal challenges. It is now back on the floor, and the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee is recommending that the bill be passed into law. Listen to James Eno, he is Vice Chairman of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee, presenting the report of the committee.
Intersex persons do not form part of the LGBTQ plus community. They explain that intersex is an umbrella term used to describe persons born with natural biological sex characteristics, such as chromosomes, hormones, or reproductive organs that do not fit the typical medical definitions of male or female bodies. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, the committee recommends that this report be adopted and for the House to approve same, so that this bill we can take this bill from here to the next stage. I pray accordingly, Mr. Speaker.
Ranking member on that committee, Kwame Anyimedu-Entwi, says this bill must be expeditiously passed.
The whole committee, and I believe the whole House, we have come to a point that we need to pass this bill. And I don't think we need to waste much time on it. And so, Mr. Speaker, I would just support the Vice Chair of what he had presented, that on the principles we have gone through, and so far we haven't seen anything that pins this bill down. So the House is ready, the committee is ready, and at an appropriate time, we'll go through the clause by clause. I'm grateful.
However, there have been concern, will President Mahama sign this bill? James Agalga says the President will sign it immediately Parliament passes it and it hits his desk.
I would want to assure my colleagues on the other side that we will enact this bill into law with deserving speed.
MP for Bosome Frehon, Nanasa for JISS. The NDC has the overwhelming numbers in Parliament, and if they are really committed to this, they must use their overwhelming two-thirds majority to pass this bill immediately.
Of the numbers, you don't have any problem in passing this bill. We can stay overnight, just like we stayed overnight for the Gold Board bill. Mr. Speaker, I am happy again that we are in unison as a country in supporting this bill. What we then differ is the speed at which we will pass this bill. Mr. Speaker, the minority is saying that the speed should be much more accelerated so that we can pass this bill today.
Reporting for Joy News, Akufo-Addo, Parliament House, Accra.
Now, 61 teachers from basic schools to universities across Ghana have undergone a 3-day climate change and health education professional development workshop organized by the University of Ghana, University of Education Winneba, and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in partnership with the Indiana University, Indianapolis. The initiative forms part of broader efforts to strengthen climate change education and equip teachers with practical knowledge on the causes, effects, and solutions to climate change. There's more in the following report.
Speaking to Joy News, Assistant Professor at the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences at Indiana University, Indianapolis, Samuel Cornelius Nyako says, Ghana is already experiencing severe effects of climate change, including rising sea levels, flooding, and prolonged droughts. He says educating students on climate change and responsible environmental practices is critical to building a generation that can advocate sustainable living and help reduce harmful environmental activities.
I believe it's important that teachers and students develop capacity for climate change, because if it's like, you are sick and you don't know the diagnosis, nobody has diagnosed you, but you feel the pains, right? So if you go out there and then buy any medicine, let's say you have diarrhea and then you go and buy a painkiller, right? Is that the right medicine for it? It's the same thing when it comes to learning about climate change concepts. If you don't understand the effect, then how are you going to plan the mitigation practices? We are seeing devastating effect of climate change all over Ghana. If you look at sea level rise, if you go to Qatar, if you go to the coastal areas, we've seen a lot of sea level rise where you have the sea water coming into people's homes. It wasn't like that previously. These are all, impact of climate change.
Meanwhile, Abigail Mercy Opontete, program manager for Indiana University Ghana Gateway, says teachers must be adequately trained to ensure climate change education delivered in schools remain accurate, practical, and impactful.
To empower teachers to be able to teach on climate change and how it affects health professionals. Yeah. There's a gap between what teachers know and what they teach when it comes to climate change. So the principal investigator, that's my colleague, Dr. Saminyakun, sought to bridge this gap by seeking funding to organize this workshop so that they do a curriculum that is tailored for the Ghanaian needs and the Ghanaian context, for the teachers to be able to disseminate and teach on climate change as it pertains to Ghana.
Now, the arts have been described as a vital foundation for human existence and societal development, with renewed calls for greater recognition and protection of their role in shaping culture, knowledge, and social progress. Speaking at the 2026 Dean's Award ceremony of the Faculty of Arts at the University of Cape Coast, the Registrar of the College of Humanities and Legal Studies, Ebenezer Agri, highlighted the significance of arts in fostering intellectual growth, preserving cultural identity, and driving societal advancement, while urging stakeholders to safeguard and promote the discipline.
Women dominated the 2026 Faculty of Arts Dean's Award ceremony at the University of Cape Coast, accounting for an impressive 73.6% of award recipients compared to 23.4% for males. Expressing pride in the achievements, the Dean of the faculty, Professor Kwabena Safo Kantanka, described the ceremony as a celebration of perseverance and outstanding academic performance.
Today, we honor individuals, both students and faculty, who have distinguished themselves through hard work, dedication, and excellence. Your achievements remind us that excellence is not accidental. It is a product of discipline, perseverance, and a commitment to going beyond the ordinary. As a faculty, we are committed to equipping our students with the skills and perspectives necessary to thrive in an uncertain world. We will continue to strengthen interdisciplinary collaboration, integrate digital tools into our teaching and research, and engage more deeply with our communities.
Sharing the event, the Registrar of the College of Humanities and Legal Studies, Ebenezer Agri, emphasized the critical role of the arts in shaping society, describing the discipline as the bedrock of human existence and development.
Your work ensures that as Ghana digitizes, we do not lose our soul, our inherent worth, and where we are and from where we go. As we globalize, we do not forget our progress, which gives so much meaning. It is for this reason we want to see the theme for this year's Dean's Award is very apt and very relevant for our existence.
Delivering the keynote address, former Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Domwini Dabre Kupole, challenged the awardees to remain focused and consistent in their pursuit of academic excellence.
Fortunately, for those of you who are being awarded today, you were not given, you obtained yourselves. we congratulate you. But we hope with the present, you are still able to maintain, to defend the grades that you have obtained and prove that you actually obtained them. You were not given. Going forward, we expect you to transform those grades and knowledges that you have acquired into a better person of yourself, transform your families, transform your communities, and transform Mother Ghana.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Lisol-Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
And still on culture, naming practices, nicknames and everyday forms of address have been described as powerful expressions of identity, relationship and cultural values, prompting renewed calls for deliberate efforts to preserve Ghana's linguistic and cultural heritage. In his inaugural lecture titled A Tale of Two Cities, the case of an applied English linguist, Professor of Applied English Linguistics at the University of Cape Coast, Professor Joseph Benjamin Archibald-Afo, examined the socio-linguistic importance of naming and address systems in Ghana and also urged the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture to promote indigenous naming practices and develop policies aimed at preserving Ghanaian languages and cultural identity.
Inaugural lectures serve as important academic platforms for professors, and according to the acting Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Dennis Walanyo-Aheto, provide opportunities for scholars to exhibit their expertise and highlight years of academic research.
The inaugural lecture is a cherished academic tradition that marks a scholar's formal elevation to the rank of professor. It provides a platform for professors to share their intellectual journey, research contributions, teaching experiences, innovations with the university community. More than just a celebration of personal achievements, it reflects the institution's recognition of sustained excellence in scholarship, teaching, learning, service, and innovation. Each lecture, therefore, serves as an opportunity to showcase expertise, highlight research, accomplishments, and engage with society by making research, advanced research accessible to wider audiences.
In his inaugural lecture titled A Tale of Two Cities, the case of an applied English linguist, Professor of Applied English Linguistics, Professor Joseph Benjamin Archibald-Afo, recommended that foundational writing programs in Ghanaian universities, especially at the graduate level, be reviewed and redesigned with a call for curricular reforms.
Given the scenario painted of the English for academic and publishing purposes situation in Ghana, as presented in my research over the last 27 years, I offer the following recommendations for higher education, targeting both learners and experts. I recommend that foundational writing programs in Ghanaian universities be reviewed and redesigned. In UCC and several other public universities where we have communicative skills or use of English and academic writing, there must be a curricular shift away from remediation toward discipline-specific orientation, combined with technology-based and critical-based pedagogy to address modern academic needs. The academic writing for graduate students course in UCC, I believe, should be reviewed in terms of its objectives, pedagogy, and material development.
Beyond academic writing, he also urged the Ministry of Tourism and other relevant government institutions to promote indigenous naming practices and develop policies that preserve Ghanaian languages and cultural heritage.
The Ministries of Tourism or Arts and Culture, perhaps alongside the National Commission on Culture, should establish frameworks to protect and promote local naming practices. This will preserve and studied local languages and keep indigenous histories alive.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Lisol-Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Poverty remains one of the leading causes of school dropouts in many communities. As part of efforts to improve access to education for needy students and help raise future leaders, the Euchrestos Touching Lives Foundation has donated essential educational items to students of Dedeman MA Primary School and Bodumasi MA JHS. The foundation is also urging society to support vulnerable children and invest in their future so they can grow into responsible and successful adults. More in the following report.
The lead partner of the foundation, Apostle Dr. Abraham Ofori Kurugu, during a donation exercise at Didiman MA Primary School and Bodumase MA JHS, explained the need for society to support needy students and called on government to speed up the construction of the Pokwase Didiman Road.
The Christos Touching Lives Foundation, of which I am the lead partner, kick-started work around the year 2020, where informally we were assisting school children with uniforms. Our basic objective is to help boost the low self-esteem of children. If a child comes to school without a school uniform, or he comes in mufti, you realize that it affects him because he looks around and all the other kids are well dressed. So we focus on that aspect, that we will provide school uniforms for them. And later we have to move on to stationery. So for the past few years, we've been supplying them with books, pencils, pens, and erasers, rulers, markers, and what have you. And also, we've also been supplying them with school bags and also footwear. And also, when you go to every school too, we assess them and give them first aid kits so that they can also attend to certain first aid requirements of the pupils. And I want to appeal to government. We as stakeholders, there's a limit to which we can help. We can't, as it were, move to other infrastructural needs of society. In fact, moving from Pokwase down to Dedema here was a nightmare. The road situation is so horrible. I know the government has started something. I could see that works are ongoing. You could see contractors on the road. But I want to plead that if work can be expedited so that things will be well for the society.
The headmaster of Bodumase MAJHS, Mr. Adai Kwarting, expressed appreciation to the Eucharistos Touching Lives Foundation. He also highlighted other needs of the school and called on government and philanthropists to come to their aid.
In fact, with what we've seen today, we are so privileged to receive this donation from Eucharistos Foundation, Touching Lives Foundation. In fact, we are so grateful. This will go a long way, help us a lot to improve teaching and learning condition in the school. In fact, when we look at the uniforms, we are so grateful. Why? Because most of them have tattered uniforms. And in fact, parents find it difficult to provide uniform for their wards. And they wear anything at all to school. In fact, this will go a long way to help them. And other materials too, like exercise books. In fact, when they give them exercise, most of them don't write. They don't, because they don't have. When we resume school like this, you see most of them come to school without books. At times, teachers have to sacrifice and buy books for them. But how long would they continue to buy books for these learners? So the school still lacks so many things. For instance, we don't have urinals over here. The kids are grown and they can't go anywhere at all and be urinating anyhow. So we are pleading if we can have urinals being constructed for us, it will help a long way, it will help us a lot.
Pastor Richard Nyama Buedi, Mamprobi District Pastor of the Apostolic Church Ghana, urged parents to monitor their children's education to prevent teenage pregnancy and other negative influences that may undermine the efforts of donors and stakeholders.
Our advice to the parents of this very location or area is that once the Lord has laid on the heart of our Apostle Dr. Lawyer Abraham Ofori to do good or to give gifts to the school people, it is our prayer and our humble appeal that as parents, you will also do your possible best, one, to encourage your children to learn, two, not to engulf themselves in some activities that will not yield any positive result. For example, they should do as much as they can to desist from premarital sex. They should not be in that situation at all, because if you go for sex today, your tomorrow is at stake. Therefore, as parents, try as much as possible, one, to encourage your children to study hard, two, to abstain from early sex.
Well, it's now time for business news. Dear Hunter Pele, Samuel Kujibris will bring us that right after this breather.
Let's do business updates now. And the business strategist and economist, Dr. Agyeman-Rawlings, is calling on government agencies to desist from policy contradictions and work together towards transforming Ghana's economy. According to him, inconsistent and conflicting policies among state institutions continue to undermine efforts aimed at driving sustainable economic growth and private sector development. He spoke at the Agyeman-Rawlings and Associate Business Roundtable.
Sometimes I sit back and I look at many contradictory policy decisions. One ministry is saying we want to invite investors. The actions by another ministry say clearly that we don't want investors. So how do we harmonize our own philosophy for attracting investments? Whether it's from local investors or from external investment, we must have one story. If we must unlock the next quarter century, we need good leaders. We need leaders with purpose. We are tired in Africa and in Ghana of leaders who have no clue as to how to build countries. Most of them come to look after themselves. We don't need those leaders. We are tired of governments that don't have understanding of what it means to run a country ethically and with conscience. Every time a politician takes a decision, he or she knows whether it is in the national interest or not. And yet they do.
Well, Finance Minister Dr. Akufo-Addo has announced that the government will soon unveil a new economic program as part of the 2027 budget aimed at sustaining macroeconomic stability and accelerating growth after Ghana's exit from the IMF program. He believes the program would build on the fiscal consolidation and structural reforms achieved under the current extended credit facility while shifting focus to job creation, export diversification, and private sector-led growth. He made this known when he gave the mid-year economic update in Parliament.
Mr. Speaker, to build on this hard-won foundation of stability, President Mahama's administration has designed a new economic program, the New Economy, to be unveiled as part of the 2027 budget. Mr. Speaker, the New Economy will move Ghana from stabilization to transformation, with a clear focus on sustainable jobs, higher productivity, greater resilience, and broad-based prosperity. Right, Honorable Speaker, President Mahama is grateful to the people of Ghana for their sacrifice, patience, and steadfast forbearance.
And that's how we wrap up the business update. Back to you, Denisia Pomeje.
That the AM show is sponsored by Shield Silicone Paints from Azar Group, Syntex Pipes, and Time Herbal Mixture. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we enjoy today's moment, remember to keep your body refreshed and your energy right with Fresh Drop Still Natural Mineral Water. Fresh Drop Still Natural Mineral Water is not just any water. It's natural and mineral rich that keeps you going. So whether you're dancing, cheering, networking, or simply enjoying the moment, Fresh Drop Still Natural Mineral Water helps you stay cool, refreshed, and fully present. So grab a bottle available in 500 ml, 20-liter jars, and sachets. For bulk purchase or inquiries, call 055 22 50290. Well, that's it for the AM News. My name is Denisia Pomaje. For more news, I know a place. Do log on to myjonline.com. Up next is sports. Enjoy the rest of the show. Have a lovely Friday. See you tomorrow at the Aviation Social Center for Rep Your Jersey.
By mid-morning, the markets in Bogosu become busy. Women call out prices from their stores. Drivers shout destinations at the lorry station. For many traders here, these are sounds they feared they might never hear again. 2 years ago, when operations at the Bogosu Prestia mines shut down, economic activity across the township slowed sharply. Small businesses lost customers, some families struggled to survive, and traders who depend heavily on miners say life became extremely difficult. Among those trying to rebuild is Lydia Edu Tamaklo. Every day, she arranges tomatoes carefully under the scorching sun, hoping sales will be enough to support the many children dependent on her. For Lydia, the return of mining operations by If Goldfields means her livelihood is slowly returning. She says as workers return to the mines, movement in the market is beginning to pick up. A few stores away, Amanyaku is seeing similar changes. She sells bottled water in the market. When the mine shut down, her business almost collapsed. Now, she says customers are returning.
Me started na marketing but CCAD me who say saturate bi aba marketing kane no ye last year me buy so to try it was a single one near the upon Akufo but CCAD so na to talk but marketing no difference abem almost started adwuma no me market me dey me market difference abem che say obi won ma oye adwuma man simu oba otimi to 4 packs, 6 packs, no aton ke 20 bi e dey account nti ya ma de biara da me market no difference abem.
The impact is extending beyond the market. At the lorry station, commercial drivers say passenger movement is increasing again. More people are traveling into Bogosu and Prestia in search of work. Others are returning to businesses they abandoned during the shutdown.
From Oklahoma, system is slow. Ema car from Adina no. From because skinny amount for too kind. But it start here no. They be our 4 bar. They be mostly too kind. I didn't Ema a cost from transport. They be a cars near day.
The reopening of the Bogosu Prestia mines under If Goldfields has renewed hopes across the townships. For many residents, recovery is still gradual.
Development to me so a dance to me so a man to me could be to me so it's your sub and so own physical mining na yentumi yansusu ayensu ye jedufo na yansu yenkuta pen na ye de betro na yansu ya baabi ye tworo no yansu yenya bi yansu yentumi fa ntworo.
Mining activity has returned to Bogosu and Prestia, and across the townships, traders say money is slowly circulating once more. But residents believe the reopening of the mines is only the first step. What many now want to see is steady employment, stronger businesses, and a local economy capable of recovering from nearly 2 years of hardship. That the return of mining operations will bring lasting stability to families and businesses hit hard by the shutdown.
Hi, and welcome to the News Review segment of the show. Let's start with what the papers are reporting. Daily Guide says remand bail conditions being abused. Muntaka, that's the Minister of Interior, speaking about how people are abusing bail conditions. And he was talking about the reforms that are coming. We'll discuss that when we get onto a table. Court of Appeal grants Eduboahene access to national security files concerning some accounts of his company buying security software for the national security. Now, in court, they brought some document and left out some. He says he wants the entire because he feels that that could exculpate his particular matter. Now, growing public distrust in political leadership, threat to democracy. That's according to a former member of parliament there. Get details are on page 3. Galamsey pit swallows 4. Details are on page 6 of the paper. Ghanaians, others ordered to leave Cambodia. That's an interesting development there. Let's do other papers here. Okay. Now, in the Insight newspaper, it says Pope speaks on slavery and he's asking for pardon for the role of the Catholic Church in slavery. There are details in the paper. Now, SNET puts premium apartments up for sale. Targets workers in luxury homes investment sale. If you have money, come, let's go and buy these apartments from SNET. If they are not bought already, let's go there and see if we can get some to buy. MPA CEO vows to combat illicit food smuggling. Those are the details there. Let's do other papers here. Now, the news center. Emergency care gaps exposed. Experts blame poor funding, weak management, and fragile patient protections. A lot of issues they raised there in page 2 of the paper. Now, Ghana has only 150 weather stations of 600 required. GMET is speaking, but I'm interested in this story. Prosecute chiefs selling lands in waterways. Gamanche says, I hope government would, deal with this and arrest chiefs and prosecute them for selling land in waterways, because the Gamanche himself is making this proposal. And I agree with him. Now, News Guide Africa, Ghanaians return home as Chief of Staff vow dignified reintegration. Okay, it's about 300 people who have come home. Julius Malema has been speaking on this. We'll delve into that when we sit down. Now, IMF OK's cocoa boards overhaul demands farm gate prices align with world market to secure sector. Okay, all right. BOG orders banks to chase defaulters on written off loans. Accra Kumasi Expressway takes shape as 51-kilometer cleared. Compensation to begin in June. Interesting one there. MPA on the move again. Joint operation destroys smuggling boat. A major coastal fuel crackdown. All right, let's do other papers here, and then we can wrap it up. Okay, let me see. Daily Gist. AG ordered to release secret documents. Pay farmers before jailing them. Fifi Boafo tells Cocoa Board. And Ashanti is the heartbeat of MPP. Afenyo Marking courts Otumfo. JA Plant Pool sued over $2 million drip contract overpayment. And Ablakwa runs from upon Nkrumah's RTI request on diplomatic salaries. Okay. Those are the issues being carried by the papers this morning. But let me welcome my guest in studio by starting with political scientist Dr. Kwame Asante, who is joining us via Zoom. Doc, good morning to you. I trust all is well. Okay, I'm sure that we'll be getting him shortly. But in studio, I've been joined by the Akwatia MP, lawyer Bernard Bediako. Lawyer, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hope all is well.
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm well. Akwatia good?
Yes, Akwatia. I'm just coming from the constituency.
Okay.
We went to celebrate the Eid al-Adha.
Okay.
So I brought some salam meat for you.
Oh,
yeah, so
good one.
Yeah, you should join me.
Salam meat.
Yes.
Go be rough.
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning to my co-panelists. They are not excluded from
the salami. This one we have to go and get some drinks and then we sit around the table.
I tell you, so are you telling me you didn't get any?
Salami?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't pay particular attention.
Hey.
So, yeah.
You've missed.
Oh, my dear friend, was bringing us some, but I left the office.
You did?
Yeah, Aisha.
Oh.
Aisha used to be with us here.
Yeah.
She was bringing us salad food. And I left.
Not the meat.
Oh, but her food always comes with a lot of meat.
Oh, okay.
She's been doing it every year.
But if it's the meat, you can still have it today because the manner in which it is.
They do, yeah. But the boys consumed them. They didn't leave some for me. Else they would have got me to come.
I understand now. I understand.
Anyway, let me see my next, guest, former CEO of Monument Board, Kingsley Ofosuntiamwa. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hope all is well.
You can't complain.
How's life after moving from Monuments?
From Ghana Museums and Monument. It's been good, at least. The stress level has come down.
Okay.
So it's good. It's okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. And then Executive Director of the Institute of Economic and Research Policy, Professor Isaac Bodi. Prof, good morning.
Good morning.
Trust all is well.
Very well.
Okay.
I was waiting for the invitation. So,
for the salami.
The answer did exactly
that. I saw the way Prof.
What do you have? Finally invited all of us.
Yes.
All right. We have a number of issues on our table this morning. We'll go to South Africa, talk about the evacuation of some 300 people to Ghana, which Julius Malema is describing as unnecessary. He's been tearing into the actions of some few South Africans who are putting the name of South Africa in bad repute. We'll get into that. Also, community sentencing to replace custodial sentence. We're asking if that's fair justice. Lawyers here, he will help us deal with the matters, and my guests as well. But let's start with from ICU to Wellness Center. Ghana's healthy economy, rebounding. I'll start with you, Prof, because this is your forte, right? And then I'll bring in a lawyer to look at his government and what they're doing. Have we actually moved from the ICU yet?
Sure. Good morning to your viewers and your listeners as well. And good morning to my colleagues. I'm sure you are using the words metaphorically. ICU to Wellness Center. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important that we have a proper conversation on this. We are trying to find essentially whether the recent improvement in our microeconomic indicators are reflecting or translating into a real relief for the ordinary citizens and the business community. I'm sure that's essentially what we are trying to find out. The economy may be recovering statistically, but then you're asking whether people are actually, financially healthy. And if you decompose your statement, your question, ICU to Wellness Center, ICU, you are referring to previous years where we recorded a high interest rate, high inflation, debt crisis, challenges with our financial sector and all that. And you're also asking the recovery, the Wellness Center representing the recovery world that we find ourselves in. So we have seen some indicators taking a nosedive, others also taking an upward trend. Inflation, nosedive, reduction in inflation, improvement in our reserves. So that's the Wellness Center that we are referring to. But I would say that for most of the things that we have seen as an economy, Ghana's economy, just as we have seen, has moved away from the recovery world, but so weak to return or move away from the hospital. That could be the answer I'll give you.
Okay.
We have moved away from the ICU you described, but we feel weak to return, to move away from the hospital.
How so?
Why am I saying this? We are recording growth, which is fine. But when you have growth not affecting jobs, people get disgruntled. Check the rate of unemployment and underemployment. That should tell you where we find ourselves. Check the cost of living for the ordinary citizens. That should tell you. So you can have all the numbers pointing to the right direction. When the business community, struggling to have funds or to borrow, and the cost of borrowing remain high.
But the cost of borrowing has come down, hasn't it?
Check with our neighbors. I'm looking at the, we have after here. And this is a market that we all trade in. How much does it cost the producer in other countries? We have the same market, but check the cost of borrowing with our peers. That should tell you. Check the rate of unemployment. Check the cost of living. So I of the opinion that the macroeconomic indicators will point to the right direction. Then look at the cost of living, the standard of living of individuals. I'm sure it is time for us to measure the welfare of our citizens based on the standard of living. That should tell you where we find ourselves. So yes, the numbers are improving, but then we juxtapose that to our normal daily lives. We go to market all the time. We buy products. We are made to believe that when there's a drop of inflation, it automatically means that price of items have come down. We have debunked this several times. We said, that's not the position we see. Check the recent data produced by BOG. It will confirm what we are talking about. The recent summary of economic and financial data produced by BOG. It gives you an idea that this administration is gradually struggling with revenue mobilization. Struggling with revenue mobilization relative to the expenditure pressures, despite the jumps in the microeconomic indicators. Now, check the same data and look at revenue. It tells you that for revenue, the total revenue and grants over a period for May stood at 3.6 of the GDP. And I was cemented to confirm why I said on your portal that I'm sure in the mid-year review, the budget likely going to have introduction of taxes or something, based on what I'm trying to say. The country in May recorded revenue, total revenue and grants, 3.6% of your GDP. What it means that when you generate 100, you produce 100 cedis or so, the government is able to get only 3.6% of your revenue. In terms of tax revenue, was 3.0 of GDP. Now look at the total expenditure of the same administration in May. That is 3.9 of your GDP. So when you generate 3.6, you actually spent 3.9. That gives you a gap of 0.3. So what it means is that you always have to go into market to go and look for money to support your activity. That's what it tells you. Now, when you look at the government, is running a deficit, fiscal deficit. What it means is that the overall cash balance, the same report gives you overall cash balance, the cash component, 0.3% of GDP. What about the commitment level? The same. And that gives you your net domestic financing of 0.1. It means you still have to borrow. You still have to raise money. Then if you look at that, tax revenue is growing slower than economic activities. Your tax revenue is growing slower than economic activities. Check the growth of our GDP. Fantastic, because the growth is being, led by service. And when the growth is led by your service sector, you gradually have expansion in your GDP. But that will not give you a productive economy. So you see that in the same vein, when your economic activities are not running, you are not generating more tax revenue from. For the last month, your GDP stood at 5.8. Your non-oil growth stood at 7.1. So it tells you. But how much do you collect? If you are recording the growth, how much are you collecting from that growth? You are collecting only 3.0% of your GDP.
But by standard, how much should they be collecting?
IMF projected, in terms of our capacity, the World Bank also has checked that report, the capacity of a country should be around 21.1%. So when I generate almost 100, 21% must come to the kitty as tax revenue. But for the month of May, recorded per the same report, you are getting 3 points of your GDP. So that's why I said our economy has moved away from ICU, intensive care. But for me, it's finding difficult to move away from the hospital.
But you are a finance person, and I'm told that there's a lag time between an economy recovering and when the citizens will feel it in their pocket. Isn't what we are seeing the natural cycle of an economy that is recovering?
I will agree with you to a large extent when you are talking about wages and that of inflation, the prices of items. If you think the prices are going high and you are not having a commensurating wage increment, obviously you feel it. But for lag, for how long? You also fail to tell us, could it be 1 month? Could it be 2 months? Or 3 years? Or 4 years? Or 5 years? That's the point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Rabedu.
Good morning.
The question people are asking is, yes, the economy is recovering, but my pocket is not feeling it. What do you tell them?
I think you put it right. That any government that comes to take up the reins of power for a year and a few months certainly would have to deal with the macro and make sure the economy is on a sound footing before it reflects the very micro we seek to achieve. And so we should also look at the time, how long this government has been in power. Could he or could the government have done anything different? I don't think so. I think that it is the best it can do under the circumstance. You see, the little I know, I have Professor here who could guide me on this. What is macro, this macro thing, micro thing? I thought that the macro just simply reflects an aggregate of the micro choices. I mean, the very things we do. These are, how do we get the micro growth and then all that? Is it not the very micro, whatever we do? I mean, if it is about growth, you mentioned the service sector, it is not the very things, unemployment and all that. It's fused into to get what we have as the micro. Because of course, if inflation is being measured, it's from the micro, the things how much things are being sold out there. That is put, that's my understanding, I may be wrong. That is put together to get what the inflation rate is. So sometimes when I hear this thing about, because how do we get the macro figures? How do we get them?
But policy directions. No, for example, interest rate is a policy direction.
So let's deal with inflation. How is inflation measured? Prof, help us. I mean, I have ceded my time. Is it not the very micro, how much things are being sold out there? How do we generate inflation?
You have one basket.
Yes.
That the statisticians will go to market.
Absolutely.
Purchase products.
Absolutely.
Selectively. They have ways of measuring the food, the non-food. That's why they decompose.
Yes.
So the basket will tell you the items that you purchase and put in, and then take an average, the CPI. So you can now measure.
Thank you. So essentially, they go down. They are expected to go down. So it's the very micro. Because if it is down to the market, it's the micro.
So you feel that people should be okay?
No, I've not said so. You see, I started my submission.
Oh, no, I thought you ceded your time.
Oh, no.
But I think
Prof, I'm okay.
Because I was just...
I'm okay. At this point, I'm okay.
You take over.
You see, I'm saying that I started my submission by saying that the government is a little over a year old.
Yeah.
A government that comes to power, and Prof has conceded, and rightly so, that we were actually under an intensive care. It was. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But Prof is saying that we are not completely out of the woods yet, if I get you right, and that, yes, recovery, but we are not fit, we are not well to run out of the hospital. I agree with you to a large extent, but it does not take away the fact that there has been a move. At least something has been done. We have progressed. If we've moved from the ICU, and Prof said we are where? You said we are where now?
Oh, we moved out of it, intensive care.
Yes.
Per his topic he gave.
No problem.
But now we have moved. Difficult to go home.
No problem. So at least we are, and the finance minister used what he said, wellness center.
Yeah.
Yes. So he didn't say we are home. At least we are home. So you see, that is what I like about this government. Honestly, the candor, the honesty, the humility. We have not said we've resolved all the problems we have. But at least there is no doubt that we were worse before. Did you ever imagine that?
I won't agree to the fact that we were worse before.
We were worse before.
No, if you look at the trajectory, it didn't show we were worse before. One, your inflation stood at 54. Before you left the left office, it was 23.
Whose inflation stood at 54?
The government.
Inflation?
The government.
It was a government.
Which government? No, why are you afraid to?
It was the same government.
No, so who took it to 54?
No,
so you allow me.
Year?
No, it doesn't matter.
No, but lawyer, isn't he also right to say that because we were at 54 and they brought it to 23?
How did we get to 54?
But it doesn't matter.
It does.
But again, does it also matter they brought it to 23 before they handed it over?
No, you see, the point is this. Mm-hmm. In 2017, what was the inflation rate before they took over? Please help me. He is not spoken, so I don't want it. I would want to hear him. So I don't want to zoom into the MPP and their record. He's here to speak. So, Prof, you see, let me, if he comes at us, then we would have to play his record to him. How we got to 54 and subsequently we came down to 23. I would be waiting to hear from him. But what I'm saying is that, yes, even if, look, in all this, whatever they sought or they achieved, by the trajectory Prof is proclaiming.
Yeah.
and got to 23.
He's not proclaiming, he is only referencing because it's a fact, also.
Well, he mentioned trajectory. Don't worry. Oh, sorry. But you see, this is the point I make. Look, in all that, they had e-levy.
Unsuccessful.
What's the meaning of that?
Oh, the target they were looking for.
It's not about target.
The campaign that was against e-levy.
Even if it's a one dime,
okay.
There was e-levy.
All right.
There was COVID levy. They had all they had from IMF, World Bank as a result of COVID. Prof, true? They, in fact, and sometimes when I hear issues, that COVID, look, they even exceeded their target, revenue target, the very year COVID struck us. So this issue about essentially economic activity grounding to zero is not true. During the COVID era. But you see, they had all that at the expense of the taxpayer.
But they also paid teachers for no work done.
For how long?
It was, I cannot be right with that.
Look, don't even worry. They had a budget at the end of 2022, I think 2022, and then they told us how much they spent on COVID. These are facts. I think it was around 1.7 billion or something. This is their claim. So those things are not really an issue. But I'm saying that this is the claim of the finance minister, that we've moved from ICU. We all concede that, yes, the economy was in ICU. There is no doubt about that. There's been a move. We are not saying we are running. But could we have done anything different? Any government that inherits such an economy would have to stabilize. And the stability here is the macro. Get the macro indicators, and there is surely a relationship between the micro and the macro. And that is why I asked about the inflation, how it is even calculated and all that. Because in the end, the people of Ghana, of course, Prof spoke about employment and all that. Legitimate. And Prof would agree with me that it didn't start from today. There is a challenge that we have as a country. Perhaps if my brothers had thought through well with their policies of one district, one factory, provided a proper, a proper legislation or proper document to back it, we would have at least been able to assess the successes or otherwise of it. We didn't. Now, we spent so much money on this, we do not even know what went into what, because there is no document, a policy document for us to interrogate. Here we are, a government of 1 year, a little over 1 year. I am satisfied with how far we've come with the macro, which we all agree. The issue has been that it should trickle down to our pockets. Of course, there's been some progress. Because if you were paying e-levy before, and you are not paying it now, almost all of us, a large chunk of Ghanaians are engaged in this mobile money, whatever. And so if the government eventually says that I'm repealing that law and that you are no longer going to pay e-levy, at least you save something. COVID levy, same. At least who doesn't know that there's been some reduction in terms of import duty and then all that, which of course affects the very products we find on our markets. Because of the free market system, sometimes you cannot, of course, Prof knows, you can't regulate prices out there. And that has been one challenge. You can't regulate it. The person, does his own thing and decides to sell it at a certain price. But food inflation, truth be told, we may talk about any other thing, but prices of food, staple, vegetables, whatever, is far better than before. Let's be fair. Food. We may talk about other things, but as for food, we would look. Recently, you heard what happened with I think in the Bono area there, when they were crying for people to even get them.
But that's artificial.
How is it artificial?
Government has imported more than they should have.
No, but at the end of it,
so the production we've done in this country, we're not able to sell them. People are not buying.
Government imported what?
Oh, the cereals, the grains, maize, rice. They've imported.
So what happened to the government directive for the buffer stock to absorb? And they have, that I know for a fact. I have a certain...
But there's a real difficulty. That's what I will talk about
Okay,
later.
that's okay.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that the government has done well, very well, having stability and even trying to put money in people's pockets.
All right.
For now, and we hope, and I think the finance minister has given us some hope that he's not going to let his guard down. At the end of the day, we all expect the macro to reflect in our pockets. And that is essentially what the government...
Okay. He says we are moving from the economic stabilization to long-term transformation under a new new national program dubbed the new economy beginning 2027.
And the discipline, you see, let me briefly, the discipline with which this economy currently is being run. Look, I'm all for this, what do you call it, commitment authorization. It has brought discipline in the system. And Prof, you agree with me?
I don't agree. Bro, what is discipline?
Of course. And I will tell you what. The discipline is this. You have a budget. And in fact, Prof knows this, that over the years, a lot of agencies and ministries were overspending. Yes, they were overspending their budget, even without recourse to the agency that is supposed to pay. So eventually, and they were awarding contracts which are questionable, a lot of them. But you think that today, somebody can ever take $2 million and give it to a company for feasibility studies of SkyTrain? It won't happen under this tenure because of the commitment authorization.
Check the budget allocation for the whole government, the presidency, the office.
Yes.
They overspent.
No, I'm not saying overspending is bad. No, I didn't say. Yes.
I'm trying to find out what is the discipline.
Yes.
If need be, architecture, the state apparatus overspent their own budget.
And what other agencies overspent?
I am talking about the one who implements.
So you are talking about the presidency.
No, check the others.
Nobody is saying overspending is
your overall
bad.
cash balance is giving you a negative.
Prof, you see. So anyway, you come back.
All right, let me bring in Chief. Yeah.
Okay, Kojo. Good morning. Let me say good morning to you and good morning to our cherished viewers. From ICU to Wellness Center, Kojo, it is important for us to go back from 2022, 2023, 2024. I believe that what happened in 2022, 2023 was not the same in 2024. If you ask me, I'll say that as of 2024, we were already at the Wellness Center. Because if you look at where we were coming from in 2022, when inflation was around 50-something%, and by 2024, we had brought inflation down to 23 before we left office. Even if you look at the dollar, it had moved from almost 17 to somewhere around 14 at the time we were leaving office. It tells you that the economy had started recovering in a very faster rate. Now, if you ask someone a literal meaning of economy, he will tell you the management of a household. That is a literal meaning. Okay. You ask yourself, as we stand now, he was talking about cost of goods and services and the rest. The coconut seller down there, just here, in 2024, used to sell coconut, one for 5 cedis. Now he sells the coconut for 8 cedis. Okay? The coconut seller down there used to pay rent, 200 cedis a month. Now he pays rent, 500 cedis. Okay? The coconut seller there, who used to commute from Adenta to Kokomrimre, was paying about 10 cedis a day. Now he pays 18 cedis to 20 cedis a day. And that is what we are talking about, the cost of living. Okay? And so I believe that the finance minister needs to set up. You see, it is not only, and that is where for me, I am very confident that we are booting them out in 2028. Because you see, I remember in 2022, 2023, whenever you speak, people will say, oh, Right? The economy, the free education is there. We have the same way these people are doing. Instead of them to be particular about cost of living, to be particular about the ordinary Ghanaian walking on the street. The only thing that once they spark their Land Cruisers, the dollar has done everything. But mind you, let's just not forget that the dollar, whatever they are doing now, benefit mostly the importers. It is even harming.
Yeah, but it trickles down.
Trickles out to where?
Because if I import with the fewer dollars, of course it will go into my pricing.
So do we want our economy to be imported driven? Is that what we want? It means that we will be where we are every day. Because at the end of the day, if the dollar comes down, he comes back to the port and tells him the AI, whatever, and so the cost of duty has sparked. You think that to trickle down? That is why we are not seeing it. Okay? So whatever they are doing for me, if you ask me as a layman, I will tell you, it's just gimmicks. It's nothing substantial, nothing that can sustain our economy, because at the end of the day, my grandmother, my nieces in my hometown, they are not feeling the so-called wellness that they are talking about. Because if in 2024, the cost of transport or the cost of electricity was low and now it's high, and it's not even reflecting in my daily wages, and you tell me we are in wellness center, if I've recovered in wellness center, I cannot walk, I cannot move away. What does it mean to me? Okay? And so I think that the finance minister, and for that matter, the government needs to set up, because at the end of the day, what we see is that the top is happy, but we at the grassroots, we are still crumbling. We cannot put our hands together. We cannot put 2 or 3 together to see that so-called wellness that they are preaching. Okay? Because you see, if inflation is down, it should be, if Prof will tell you that if the inflation is down as we professes that inflation is down, it means that it should reflect in the cost of living of the ordinary Ghanaian, or Prof. If I'm lying, let me know. Okay? But as it stands now, the cost of living to the ordinary Ghanaian is still high. Now as you speak, diesel is almost 17 cedis. Okay? And what we need to remind ourselves that what happened in 2019, 2020, 2021 is totally different from what is happening.
But aren't they also right when they say you need to stabilize the macro first? Then you look at how it can trickle down to the economy. And he even tries to explain it better that, well, the macro is influenced by the micro.
Kwajo.
So you brought in the inflation rate, for example. Kwajo. How do you get it?
So you build a house and leave your children to die. Is that what we are saying? Because you are building a house, wouldn't you provide for your children?
You have to provide for your
children. Kwajo is building a house, and so he thinks that there's no need paying his children's school fees. Kwajo is building a house, so he thinks that when his children is sick, he doesn't care because I need to build a house for them. So that by the time you finish building your house, your children are dead and gone. Who are you building for? And that is what we need to. You see, last week, I think it was Kojo Poku made something. He said that if you are going to buy a shirt, okay, and I think that I wear size 17. Once I get size 17 shirt, it needs to fit me. My neck, everywhere. Under normal circumstances, that's what's supposed to be. But if I buy the shirt, 17 shirt, and my neck is okay, it's too long, it's too, what does it mean? Okay, and so I think that where we are, the finance minister sometimes needs to come down, go and listen to the people in his constituency. I believe that if lawyer had gone down to his constituents to ask them questions, then he will know that the food stuff that he's even talking about, the cost has gone higher. Because now, how many people in this country can eat the 3 square meals lawyer is talking about? Salah, people are crying. They couldn't buy goat. They couldn't buy cow. The money is not there. Possibly lawyer was able to buy more because it's in government. That is why he has more, and he has some in his car going around sharing. Okay?
No, he is bringing it.
But Kojo, the fact is that Ghanaians are suffering. And the government needs to listen to the plight of the ordinary Ghanaian. Because it is not rosy as they see it. It is not. And like I said, the scenario I've given you, the coconut seller down there, when you go to him, he will tell you cost of living is high. And that is why the pollsters are saying that about 70% of their supporters are crying that cost of living is high and they must listen. Okay, we voted for them. The one thing that sometimes I find very appalling is when they come to refer to what did they do, what did they do. That is why Ghanaians booted us out. That is why they brought you, and you have to fix it. You are not to be saying that, what did the MPP do, what did the MPP do? What did the MPP do? What we did was that by 2024, the economy was recovering in a very faster rate. And the cost of living in this country was not as high as it is now. Really? If these people had come to increase electricity, come to increase water, come to, you see, and then the funny is that once these utilities started, once they started increasing these utilities, then I said that these people, they did not but for the ordinary Ghanaians. They came for themselves. Because once you begin to increase these utility services, it means that you are impoverishing the ordinary Ghanaian. That is what is happening. Because if I was paying electricity, I live in a single room and I was paying electricity 10 cedis or 50 cedis a month. And now I'm paying electricity around 120 cedis a month. Right. And it tells me we are from wellness to IC to wellness center. I'll tell you, it's a joke. Okay. Because we aren't seeing that in our pocket.
Okay. Let me bring in another academic. Dr. Kwame Sasanto, I'll come back to you, Doc. But let me bring in Dr. Kwame Sasanto, who's joining us on Zoom. Doc, what's your verdict? Okay, all right then. Prof.
Yeah, I think as a country, it is time for us to move away from attributes. Yes, we can use the past to measure where we are going. It is important that we can sometimes make references to the past. But it's been an usual practice that when something is positive, I achieved it. When things are negative, we attribute to a different administration. It is time we need to also have proper conversations. Because when we are looking at good indicators, we pick. Then the other ones, we drop them and assign those ones to other administration. It is time for us to move away from such conversation. Yes, you have made gains, you have improved reserves, you have improved your growth. That's fine. But now we are looking at translation. How do you translate all this to real life we live? That's a conversation today. Is it when you create growth or you have growth and that growth fails to create jobs, people become frustrated. They become frustrated. And you see, if you check, they say, I don't know whether this administration, they take time to look at the report from BOG, the summary of economic data. It gives you month by month where we find ourselves. And I'm of the opinion, in the coming weeks, the media budget. You see, if care is not taken, we have 3 options now. But the figures we are seeing, you are having your expenditure to GDP 3.9. I don't know whether we are taking time to look at these numbers. You are having your revenue 3.6. It tells you the only options you have as a country to sustain the expenditure pressures. Either one, you borrow, you go and borrow, or you print money, or what you have to do is introduce new taxes. So I'm foreseeing, I hope I won't be judged wrong that this coming mid-year budget, for me, with all the options available, we are likely to have introduction of new taxes because of the figures I'm proved, unless I'm proved wrong.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Yes, so this issue of we shouldn't go back. Look, the problem we have as a country, big problem. And I've always said, it's not even poverty. I tell you, it's hypocrisy. It's pure hypocrisy, sheer hypocrisy. Since when? But if you come to sit here and you want to judge the government, you want to critique him, we should not look at you and ask questions about you and your record. Why?
But then, so you're saying that?
No, but when we are
you're saying that the other way is also right.
No, it's
when
not.
you also want to use one-sided figures, they can also call you out. Is that what you're saying? No, I'm just asking.
No, because there is none. I mean, these are figures that have been accepted. Nobody is disputing the figures out there. But I'm saying that if you come today and you say that the people can't make whatever, people cannot, feed themselves, people, it's so worse. Look, who is even talking about macroeconomic indicators as not what? He said it doesn't reflect. What did their then vice president of the country, Agyeman-Rawlings, what did he say in 2018? If you want me to refer about macroeconomic indicators, I'll read it to you. But you see, at the end of the day, I asked a simple question. None has been able to answer that question. And that in the circumstance, 1 year, a few months, a government that inherited an economy we all know not to be too healthy. We are talking about what led to this domestic debt exchange program? What led to it? What led to it? So who is and what was the essence of it? So at the end of the day, if we had all these, and you tell me today that the economy was doing well, who says who?
Okay.
Was it ordinary? And we are here. This is a government that has been able to, as we speak, look, billions of dollars in the energy sector. How can you create employment when the energy sector was consumed, almost consumed in debt? You need to stabilize. You need to create the infrastructure. Oh, no. You need to make sure.
Who brought the PPIs?
Oh, no, it's not about that. We can have that discussion. I disagree. Look, if we have that time, we would discuss it. It's not about who brought it. But I'm saying that at the time they left, because it's not the case. It's not entirely the case that is the PPIs, the IPPs. Is that the IPPs you are referring to? It's not this issue of pay or whatever. We can have that discussion. But at the time the MPP was leaving office, the energy sector was soaked in debt, fact or not.
Okay.
And so, as a government, when you come and you have such debt staring at you, you need to confront it. Because, of course, energy is the foundation of industrialization. So you are talking about employment. We need to resolve a certain problem you left behind. Okay, but when we solve it, I'll read Dr. Bawumia's post to you.
Thank you. Okay. Hold on. Let me bring in Dr. Sasante.
No, you see.
Okay. Let me bring in Dr. Sasante. I'll come back to you. Doc, I was trying to get from you what your own verdict of how the economy is now. Where we are moving, they say we have moved from the ICU to wellness center, but we're asking, do we have healthy pockets?
Good morning to my colleagues in the studio. Good morning to you, Kojo, and of course, the larger audience, Ghanaians. From where I sit, let me make it clear that I'm not an economist. So I'm going to speak as an ordinary man and how I see things. Over the years, I have watched something that power is given to people. They will promise us to come and manage economy. And in no time, more often than not, we are in difficulty. The surest way out is that you go to IMF with all the conditions attached, and we have to, bear the brunt of everything. We saw that over the years, or we've seen over the years that there are a lot of things that push us to these areas. Issue of physical discipline, issue of debt accumulation, overspending, and the rest of them. All these things put together, it takes us to certain levels that at a point in time, we find it difficult to manage things. Having said all this, we saw how Nana Addo's government for the first tenure was able to, turn the corner, if I may use the economy. And then we also saw the difficulty that followed that first tenure, that is the second term. NDC took over because they believe that they have what it takes to be able to manage the affairs of the country, and then we are here with them. What I have seen is that, look, if I cast my mind back, I have seen some level of stability, whether we like it or not, because the economists will tell us that a healthy economy is measured on a number of things, i.e. inflation, the rest of them. If you look at where we are in terms of some of the indicators, then as an ordinary man, I would say that we are making, because the figures may not necessarily be what everybody expects, but it's a little improvement over previous. That is a fact. My difficulty is that sometimes you see politicians, they want to blow their own trumpet and all that. And in the course of things, they lose focus and we come back to square one. What we are seeing now, I think that it's early days yet for the NDC to pride themselves that they've done A, B, C, and all that. It is my hope and prayer that they can sustain the momentum so that we will feel the changes that has happened relative to the economy. That is what ordinary man want to see. Anything short of it will be a problem. We have a problem of what? Getting our people employed. Now, if you look at the figures, you realize that there are difficulties there. And this, I must say that there have been difficulties over the years.
Okay.
But you see, we don't believe in, you did what, you did what. All that we want to see is that a continuous improvement of the economy and its impact on the lives of the ordinary man. That is what every Ghanaian wants to see.
Okay.
For me, from where I sit, I believe that they should continue to work and make sure that they improve the economy more.
Okay.
All right. I have heard argument from the other camp, the camp of the MPP, that nothing is being done and all that. But I have a simple question. I'm not an economist, but my simple question is that if you left the economy in the hands of somebody who cannot manage it, is that not the possibility that he will mismanage it, that even the previous position you were, he can even go beyond and he can worse off for the system? On that basis, I want to believe that, yes, of everything, we want to give the NDC some credit because there's some semblance of stability. That is a fact. But the more details, I think those in that area can share light on that. My interest is that this, feat that they have chalked, I want them to maintain it so that the ordinary man will feel it. That's it.
We need to make progress here. You haven't spoken. I would like Prof to come in.
Okay. So, Kojo, what I was trying to say is that as we speak at the moment, majority of Ghanaians are not feeling the so-called wellness in their pockets, and that's a fact. You see, he was talking about the warrant issues. For me, I personally have issues with the warrant. You see, I asked him, he's a lawyer, I'm not a lawyer. So when Parliament passes the appropriation bill into law and it's assented and becomes a law, the budget, it means that Ministry of Finance, before he presented that budget to be passed, knows that I want to give this amount of money to this ministry, to this, to this, to that, to that. So why is it that if Parliament has agreed, Finance Minister, you agreed on that with the ministries, because they usually do budget hearing, and you have agreed to give them this amount of money for their project, capital project, this goods and services and all that. Now you are saying that before the law that the ministries are going to use to work, before they can work with the law, they have to come for clearance. For me, I personally have problems with it. And that is why I should
surely
speak.
have.
That is why I should speak. Their own agencies and ministries are having problems. I know ministries who are weeping. I know agency heads who are crying. That is what has crippled the economy. And they think that they are doing well. They are not doing. For me, to wrap up on this, I would say that the ordinary Ghanaian on the streets of Accra, Kumasi, Akufo-Addo, everywhere is not benefiting or not seeing the so-called wellness in their pocket. And I believe that Akwatia people are also not feeling same. They are not seeing anything.
Prof, finally, you have to go, so just your final.
We cannot discount the debt obligations that continue to give pressure to revenues. It's important we don't sound political on this. We have real issue on our neck. You are looking at your interest payments piling up. We are looking at wage obligations piling up. We are looking at energy sector liabilities piling up. Then we're also looking at most social intervention programs untouched. It's a worry. The government will listen. These areas, the interest, the debt obligations, are also piling. It will give pressure to your revenue stream. And that is where we should not sound political. They must seem to be working.
Okay. Thank you very much, Prof. Let's talk about the South Africa evacuees. 300 of Ghanaians have come in. But Julius Malema says Ghana's response was unnecessary. He says the Ghana response was not necessary because it now creates an impression that we are all like that when it is a section of our society that needs to be contained by law enforcement. And one Ghanaian lady was saying, you see, the problem is, and I wouldn't have taken this option, he said. Let me start with Dr. Sasanti. Doc, what's your response to Julius Malema's point of view that our reaction to bring in our Ghanaians from South Africa was unnecessary?
In fact, I have always been an admirer of Julius Malema and the way he has been doing things in South Africa. But for this particular issue, I believe that he got it wrong. He got it wrong. I was so disappointed in what he said. Was he expecting us, the government for that matter, to sit down and look at Ghanaians being attacked and then their businesses taken away from them? Every government, which is a right government, a government that represents the people, will obviously set up, take a decision that will benefit its people. So his statement, to put it bluntly, was more what? Look at him talking about these things, but already some interview I listened to, he could understand Africans and then Ghanaians, and then you come back to say that it's not only double standard, but it's marks of hypocrisy. And his statement was, to put it bluntly, more reckless. Ghana government will not sit down for a decision that the government has taken. It is a great one, and if Malema is minded, they should be able to talk their government. My biggest worry is that you have police looking on whilst this madness continue in South Africa. You have the government of the day not speaking so much about it and enforcing the rules of the game. You have ordinary people enforcing immigration rules. If immigration, there's a problem and all that, is it the ordinary man who is supposed to enforce the rules and all that? Total chaos. Total chaos. I'm so much disappointed in South Africa. Those who are, running the affairs of and Africa, and for that matter, black people of what? Africa. Because, look, we are not going to talk about the support that we gave them and all that. But, look, they just a guy that should be able to take care of people. When you find, aliens in your country and all that, you owe them a duty of what? A care. You need to protect them. You need to defend them at all times. If you don't want them, there are proper ways of getting them out. But this, what we are experiencing here, is more chaos and more direct attack. The comment about that lady who made some comment and other, I don't want to glorify that ugly noise because it's so annoying and all that. That Ghanaians reacted so fast. Ghanaians have to react, and I would have been the first person to attack the government if the government did not react the way it did. Thank God the government was able to respond quickly, and the government has been able to bring smile on the people of this South Africa, Ghanaians who were in South Africa and all that. Look at businesses that belong to other Africans, Ghanaians, and the rest of them being taken away and all that. What is it, a democracy or a mobocracy? A kind of mob rule. And I'm so surprised that this is a democratic government and you allow mobocracy to take over, the mob taking over. I mean, it's worrying. And if South African leaders are listening to me, they need to sit up. If they want the country to be very attractive and all that, then they need to make sure that they get the basics right. I am not urging revenge and all that, but because I know within the Committee of States, within the international system, whatever you sow is whatever you reap. And it's just a matter of time. They will realize that people will begin to isolate them and all that. And they feel the heat. Malema should be able to look at what is happening and then make statement that will, comfort people and all that. But that statement that he made is no. I've been a very proud admirer of him, but this one, I think that it was reckless and unnecessary. We don't want that. We want our people alive and all that. Within the Committee of States, rules that we use to govern the conduct of everybody. That's why we have laws. So if there is a certain phenomena cropping up within your system and you are not happy with, you have every right to use the rules of engagement to be able to solve that problem. But if you leave it to mob, you leave to angry people and all that, then obviously you have gone against the rules of engagement. Obviously, no government will sit down for his nationals to be treated the way they are being treated. So for me, Malema should bow his head in shame for that statement that he said. It is nothing but an insult to Ghanaians, Nigerians, and all those people who are being affected in that regard. I am very much disappointed in him.
This time around. Now, Julius Malema thinks that government should have given enough time for negotiating this. Really? Did we have that much time?
First of all, let me commend the government for the swift evacuation of our brothers and sisters. Malema is my man, so I am tempted to be a bit civil because he seeks to lead South Africa one day. Is he telling us that if God is graceful enough to him to lead South Africa and his citizens are being treated, quote unquote, as animals in other countries, he will sit aloof and look at his citizens being treated anyhow? I'm being emotional because I know people who had left their companies, their properties there, they came empty-handed. I think that his comment is very disappointing. A person like Malema, I never expected him to go that way, to go on that tangent. That people are being treated like animals in your home nation. Police are staying aloof, police are not doing anything, and you want their government to sit down and look at it anyhow. I'm so disappointed in Malema, this comment. And I must say that government should go beyond the evacuation.
Okay.
Because I know that a lot of people had left their investment. Some people, I know someone who has his investment in South Africa is over $4 million.
Hey.
He came empty-handed. He came empty-handed.
Should that be the case?
He came empty-handed. He's married to a South African.
Oh.
He came empty-handed. He's been there for almost 17 years. He commuted from Japan to South Africa, Japan to South Africa. He came empty-handed, okay? And so he before he even came, he was put into cells, okay? So please, I think that the government has done so well as we speak, and like I said, we should go beyond evacuating them. If the South African government needs to compensate people, that has to be done. That I was watching someone on TV. If you look at the way the guy has been beaten and all that, and I also want to plead with the government. See, some of these people need psychologists. We cannot just say that let's integrate them just like that and leave them, give them money and let them go just like that. They need psychologists to talk to them. Because like I said, it is not everybody who were doing menial jobs there. People has really established. Like we have South Africans here, established business and all that. And so I will plead with the government that so far so good, but they need to go more by engaging the South African government. Let's get the data of everybody, what they were doing and all that. And if people that needs to be compensated, let's make sure that the South African government does that. Because as it stands now, I don't see any commitment of the South African government to bring his people to book. I saw one person saying that if they are, why wouldn't they run to the police? The South Africans, when the whites were treating them, were they running to the police? Were they happy when the whites were treating them?
Malema himself said that.
We all came together to fight for you people. So why would you treat your fellow African like that? It's sad. What is going on in South Africa is sad. Because if all African countries want to retaliate, would they survive? In this country, how many companies are owned by South Africans? Does it mean that if MTN is employing Ghanaians, or if MTN is employing South Africans, we have to go after them? Does it mean that ShopRite and Co., if they're employing South Africans, Ghanaians have to go after them? Please. I think that Malema, for this one, he got it wrong. Okay. He got it wrong. I think that any civilized government would not sit down and watch his citizens go through this and say he will not act. I know that Nigerians are also planning to evacuate their citizens in a few days ahead of us. And so I think that government needs to go further, engage psychologists for these people, so that they will be integrated properly.
Point well made. Grateful. Lawyer.
Okay, so of course, I mean, this gentleman Malema is one person a lot of people admire.
Yeah.
I'm indifferent, and so that is exactly the reason people are disappointed. Look, I don't want to talk about him and what he has done in the past. I'll talk about what the comment he made now. He's just made. It's a reckless statement, very irresponsible. Let's say it as it is. Because for what he has achieved for himself over the years, this is very inconsistent with his principle. Look, what is the issue? And I don't know whether he's made any statement prior to this, when all these were happening. Do you have evidence of him making statement condemning what has been happening in South Africa before this one? If these things have gone on for weeks, if not months, you've been quiet. People have been attacked. People have been assaulted left, right, center. You are in the country. You feel there is nothing wrong with. And if people, because you don't want your country to be seen in that light, as people have started evacuating their countries have started evacuating their nationals. You now come to condemn it. What did you expect? That we should leave them to die? But you see, I think that we have said a lot about this South Africa thing. And I think we must commend the government, yes. As lawyers would say, nothing useful to add to your submission on that. I think we ran ahead of, I don't know whether any African country has done what we've done. Yes, we've done that. It tells how passionate we are about ourselves. And so if some of our citizens are in that quagmire, we needed to come to their rescue, and we've done that. We commend the government, we commend the foreign minister and all that. But I don't think that it's a permanent move outside, especially those who have investments. It would not, of course, as a government, we will seek to integrate them as the Chief of Staff has assured. But I am sure one day, very soon, this thing will subside, and then they may have an opportunity of going or determining what to do with their investment. Left to me, when that time comes, don't ever think of settling there anymore. If you are able to sell off for something, then you move. I'm sure that day will come. It will not, this evacuation, of course, I mean, their lives are in danger. That's the essence of bringing them here. But so their investments, I'm not too sure whether those ones are also being attacked. We don't have those information for now. So if their investments are not being attacked, you come here in the meantime. We've heard theories about their election and the reason sometimes these things happen, and after the election still things become cool and all that. I choose not to accept it. But if that is the case, then those who have investments, I mean, we will plead with them not to just give up. I'm sure there will come a time things will be cool. They may have to return to look at their investments. But I would suggest that when you go, it is not an alternative to stay in a country where every minute you are not even sure what will happen to you. And so it is condemnable, but I ask questions. In all this, where is the African Union? Where's the African Union? In all these, where's the United Nations? What are they saying about this?
Okay.
It's each man for himself, each country for himself. And as has been said, look, in this country, I don't want to say certain things. Our gold mines virtually are being controlled by South Africans. Our gold mines. Let's not get to a point where, and whatever they get, how much as a country do we get from it? Everything is taken out there, virtually everything. So we have to be very careful. If this is how they want, and Malema, I thought that, look, people, their security agencies came up in the beginning. They brought a statement condemning it and that they would ensure that. Who has been arrested? Do we have any information? Who has been prosecuted? These are live videos. We see them. The people are known. You can't tell me they don't know them. Some of them go to public institutions. They get to public, agencies, hospitals. And they are saying we should run to which police?
See,
which police?
The sad thing is that, can they go to Cape Town to do this?
No, of course, yeah.
Can they do this in Cape Town? You see, why are we doing this to ourselves as Africans? Why are we doing it to ourselves as black people?
It's unfortunate, but I've said this.
And I think that the president needs to also sit up. In all this, what is the security agencies in South Africa doing? Why?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Let's move on to one issue that borders on, okay, so the 300 is also human. But the Weija Dam spillage, and it matters, that come with it every year. The rains have come down as well. Now, as we speak, homes have been submerged, properties submerged. Livelihoods are in danger now. We're asking, how do we end this? It happens every year, but will there be an end in sight someday? Lawyer, I would want to start from you.
No, you see, I would not say much about this. Okay. We've gone through this.
Every year. We talk about it.
We say the same things. I don't know what it is. We know the dangers. We know the extent to which this village. But we, as a people, we see we I don't know.
It's tiring talking about it.
I tell you, because you see, of course, when it happens like this, people's lives and properties are so people's hearts and emotions are in.
Yeah.
But we are also, we can't help it, but to also condemn our own attitude as a people.
Yeah.
And so if you are not careful, this would, I mean, it would be misinterpreted as you not being, you know,
sensitive.
But why? And it's the big, I think there is even a bigger problem. Of course, I mean, the rains are in and we know what is happening all over. We continue to build on waterways. We continue unauthorized. We are all over. It's just that people are virtually failing everywhere and putting up huge mansions. And expensive mansions. And when anything happens, of course, government. And you can't help it. We have to. And I remember the president then, I mean, in the early days of his administration last year, went round to this, what do you call it? What do you call that place? And then they had to instruct some demolitions. We had all the Ramsar. Recently, the Greater Accra Regional Minister was all over, and he even made some comments that was, and you see, do we enforce the law regardless? Will our brothers support us that this is not partisan? Let's go all out and make sure that any property in waterways, because this village, look, it will happen next year.
Yes.
But would we continue to live around that place when we know that in the next few months there will be spillage, and then eventually the government or the state would have to bear the.
But who give permit for them to?
Well, that's the question. But you see, the challenge we have as a people, like I said, there are things we should not politicize. Look, we should come together because most of these have been done by the civil servants who have been there and leave all a government. They grant, and sometimes you see it's not as if you get in and you realize that most of the documents, if they even have any, are not genuine documents that went through the system. But those who granted it, those who allowed them to do what they did, and when they were building, did we see or we did not? When it started, people have seen it. They would not say anything, and then we come to this, and we have to spell it, because if we don't, they say it could affect the integrity. You understand? But at the end of the day, look at what we see there. People have invested so much in it, and just because, and that is our challenge in this country. People see vacant lands and they think that they can build overnight and then live in, and nobody can do anything to them. Well, if we leave you and then the worst happens like it has happened, then you don't blame anybody. I'm being careful, because otherwise you'll be seen as being insensitive. But we've gone, next year we'll come back to it and we'll say the same things.
The perennial issue.
You see, Kojo, yesterday I was listening to the MP and some of the people around the communities there. And one of the things they were saying is that Waterworks, they were not informed about the opening of the dam.
Informed about. Would you have taken your building
so
out?
Education did not go down to the people and all that. But you see, saying all this, it is important that the government of the day, at the end of the day, the bucks will stop at your door. If the government has to take bold decisions by pulling buildings down to make way for the water, we need to do that.
Let's be careful. These
and
things were not put
expand
just last year. That's why I said we should
I'm not sure I've never said it started last year.
Let's talk about our own attitude.
But even yesterday, the Minister for Works and Housing and Water Resources has given indication that they are going to pull down structures.
Yes.
And we have to also distill the dam and the gutters around the dam. You see, sometimes there are small rivers, streams there. When people go, it's not being distilled. When you see, let me. He's not. You say we should not politicize it. There was social contract you entered with the people of Ghana.
Okay, you proceed. Okay. I'm not barring.
There was social contract. The NDC government of the day entered. You see, they said that construct dams in northern Ghana to manage flood waters from the Bagri Dam. Have they done it? Very soon we'll have problems in the north. Coordinate water management to prevent flooding from Akosombo Dam spillage. Has it been done? Very soon. Now, this year, if you look at the rate at which it has started raining, it means that it hasn't even started yet. Now, building water retention and detention ponds in flood-prone cities. What has been done? Repairing and maintaining drainage systems, such as the Addo River drains. All these things. If you ask them, they will tell you 1 year, 6 months, but there had been 2 budget cycles. What had been the government commitment to this? You see, even the drip machines that we have in the assemblies, just to go and distill to one gutter, they will tell you there's no money to buy fuel. Okay? And so I think that in as much as we are cautioning the citizenry, we must also ask the government of the day that the social contract that you entered with the people of Ghana, what has been done? And these are questions that this is not a matter of politicization.
It is. You are doing it. Then I'll come back.
It's just a matter of.
I'll play your record to you. This is the
hypocrisy I talk about. At the end of the day, whatever it
because
is,
you don't have moral right to answer. But this matter. Let's not agree.
At the end of the day, because we are unable to do it.
So say that
is
why
you
failed.
That is why the good people of Ghana gave you the mandate.
Yes, and we are on it.
And when the mandate was given to you 1 year to 6 months. That thing has been done.
But you couldn't do it in 8 years.
There had not been any commitment. You see, at least the Akufo-Addo government was committed in getting these drip machines. That the areas, the communities, at least, let's distill these gutters, so that it can give way for flood waters to go. And yet, we can't do that. Trust me, if you can call assemblies and ask them, when was the last time these drip machines started working? Okay, at least it was part of it. You go to our communities, the machines cannot be put to good use. Like I said, these are the social contracts they entered into with the good people of this country. What has been the commitment after 2 budget cycles? Okay. So having said that, I also think that the civil servants, the engineers within our assemblies, must be very proactive. Because some of these buildings, last Monday, Tuesday, the flood around Ablekuma, I saw the regional admiral boss on TV saying that the president has to fire I think if my memory serves me right, fire the DC and the engineers and all, because they demolished some buildings, and within some few months, the same place, they've erected some buildings over there. And so I think that at a point, politicians need to be proactive in terms of these things. And you see, as where we say yesterday, I also heard Gamanche saying that chiefs who sells flood-prone areas need to prosecute. And I think that if we are able to take the bull by the horn, all these things, the perennial flooding within Accra, I know it was not started today or tomorrow, but I think that there should be commitment from government and the citizenry for us to be able to put all these things to an end.
So you people like to know about the solutions when you're out of power. Let me bring in Dr. Kwari Asante. Doc,
I saw Dr. nodding his head.
With these Weija issues, how do we ensure that we don't come back to this table next year talking about the same thing?
Let me start by looking at the politics of it. And I will start with Mr. Oposu, that he's being just, hypocritical. All due respect. I mean, he's talking about Bagri Dam, that they should have done something to fix it. Where is the 12 million?
I was only giving background,
where is the $12 million for the construction of the
social contract?
Hold on.
MPP is not coming to the door.
Hold on, Mr. Fosu. Where is the $12 million for the construction of the Poalugu Dam? Where is it?
You want us to go there?
No, I want to go there because, we are talking about this village and all that. Talk to engineers. They will tell you that One of the things that we need to construct the Pualugu Dam is that one, that water that will be spilled from Bagri, it will contain it. Use the rest, a number of them, for irrigation before they pass it on to Akosomo, so that whenever there is spillage in Akosomo, it will be reduced before they pass it on to POM and the rest of them. The Pualugu Dam is the key if we want to maintain Akosomo Dam at all time. Talk to people in VRA, they will tell you that, look, if we lose guard and Akosomo Dam get broken, look, it will take over 70% of the land of Accra. This is scary, isn't it? Yeah. So Pualugu Dam becomes the sine qua non, without which not. But your regime, what did they do about that? Let me now move on. All that we are seeing.
I'm coming to play it to him when you are done.
Yeah. All that we are seeing about what attitude and behavior of people in this country. We know that we have an important facility like that, this dam, that there are rules governing how we have to behave there. We have thrown them away. People build anyhow. People do all the things that they are not supposed to do. And that has brought us this far. Issue of enforcement is a problem. Who are those who give authorization, permit for those structures to spring up and all that? Are they doing their work? Are they drawing salary from the national kitty? I mean, they are sleeping over the job, so to speak. And that is why we are here, because I don't see we have assembly, metropolis and all that. If they are working and they are working the way they're supposed to work, you cannot have permit to build around certain, radius of the dam. And what are we seeing here? Issue of monitoring and supervision. Is it being enforced? I can tell you without fear of contradiction that is no. Nothing is being monitored, nothing is being enforced. And at the end of the day, when we are in trouble, we blame government and all that. Government have come, government have gone. But what I have realized is that this problem has become annual ritual, and we are not bothered. And we as a society, we have also looked on without punishing those we have given power to. Now look, even if everybody will fail, government must put their foot down and deal with the situation the way they ought to dealt with. But normally the problem is that governments have also been afraid of losing power. Akosomo, they will tell you, people have built in certain radios that they are not supposed to do that. Yeah. But because of If you talk to people, they will tell you that, hey, politicians will come in and tell you that you can enforce the rules of the game. Look, when we are to put our foot down, we will destroy this country, and this problem will continue to be albatross around our neck. The politicization and the hypocrisy must stop if we want to fix this problem. Otherwise, every year the rains will come and will continue to lament. The lamentation will not stop if we don't stop the wrong attitude, the wrong enforcement, and the rest of them.
Lamentations chapter 1, verse 1. Well,
you see, so
I'll just give you 30 seconds.
I warned my brother not to zoom into partisan politics with this. Because we all concede that every year, this matter, we speak about it.
Yeah.
It means that there is a problem. And it transcends politics. It happened under your tenure. And there are records to show. In 2019, we went through this. When, in fact, the then Minister for Works and Housing, Honorable Atachan, had assured that the government had released $200 million. You see, it's okay. We are not trying to equalize. I'm not.
But I mean, if you look at our drone shot, just look at where
let's not do this. It's terrible.
Look at where someone's building is.
Yeah, I've said it. Look, at some point, if you people, at some point, at some point, I have told you that, at least in the next 16, 20, 24 years, you can be in power. But for now, let's come together and fight certain decay. Oh, yes. I mean, we can do that. But you see, some of this, that is the challenge. You see, any political party in power makes a move to do something, and he is afraid, usually, of the backlash. So some of these ones, let us come together as a people And
I have not.
Okay.
I have not said. I have not.
I don't want to tell you things that has happened. I don't want.
I have not said.
Viewers to see me as though I'm just trying to equalize. I have a lot to say.
I have not said anything bad. I was only. You know, there was a social contract they entered into with Ghanaians in 2024. Okay, so I was only trying to remind them of the social contract they entered with Ghanaians in 2024. Please stop.
But he said they didn't get it right. That's why they voted them.
No, that's why I'm careful. I don't want to look. I would have said things to be shocked.
Kwajo, at the end of the day,
let's give
Ghanaians have given them the mandate.
Yeah, we'll fix it.
There had been a 2-budget cycle. Nothing has been done.
Enough. You see, that's the hypocrisy I spoke about. Things you couldn't do in 8 years.
Okay.
Thank
you very much. Thank you very much.
I didn't do it. The government should
be ready to commit.
This one here says, happy 40th birthday. About the community centers, eh? Okay. Happy 40th birthday to Ms. Winifred Yawase, Relationship Officer of Multimedia Group Limited. Ms. Winifred Yawase, may this lovely day bring you happiness and new opportunities in your life and family. Wishing you the happiest birthday ever from your mom, the entire Asante, Owusu and Osei family, and Ghana Toastmasters, Action Chapel International Spintex Counseling. Okay, Action Chapel International Spintex Counseling Department. We love you. Our time is up. We need to go. But Director, just give me 1 minute for Doc, at least for lawyer alone, to share the thought on community sentencing to replace custodial. Lawyer.
Okay, so yes, it's a good one, but we need to be careful.
Okay.
I support it because even in laws, I mean, it's not only custodial sentence that is handed to convict. There are fines and all that. So it means that it is not just custodial. And we don't have time to get into the history of how custodial sentence came to. But there are questions, genuine questions, and we have to be very careful. Look, first of all, because we don't have time, I don't want to. First and foremost, if one is convicted, and in this case, sentenced to this community service, yes, we are talking about, will the person be moved from the court direct straight to wherever he is going to? And if whatever he's going to do would last for more than a day, where will the person be?
The bill will come to Parliament.
I know, but as people, we should start talking about. If the person will be kept in custody and be coming to work
every day,
will you call that prison or not? Don't forget, currently those in custody, they work as well.
Yeah, they do.
You understand? So there are a few questions we don't have time, unfortunately, but I wish we had time. There are a lot of questions I would have asked.
Okay.
I think I also said with what
we need to be careful. It's not bad, but we need to be very careful.
Look at it critically.
All right.
Because,
I hear.
And I'm sure it would also not be all offense, maybe the misdemeanors.
Yes, I guess.
Kwame
also is Kwame, right? No. Kingsley Osintiamwa, Ofosintiamwa is former CEO of Emolument and Ghana Museums and Emolument Board. And
then you had money.
Lawyer Bernard Bediako is the MP for Akufo-Addo. Well, we'll take a break here. We'll be back with more. Please do stay. Dr. Kwame Asante. Yeah. Welcome back to the show. Now, for years, children in some underserved communities in northern Ghana learned in collapsing classrooms, under trees, and in overcrowded spaces. Now, some of those same communities are beginning to see change from new classroom blocks to community-led teacher accommodation projects, amongst others. Joy News and its partner, School for Life, return with season 2 of Crumbling Start, tracking the progress made, the challenges that remain, and how citizen action is helping reshape education delivery. Head of programs and partnerships at School for Life, Ayuba Abukari, joins us via Zoom with more on the upcoming series. Abukari, grateful to you for joining. Now, returning to these communities after season 1, what changes have stood out most for you?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers. And I want to take this opportunity to thank Joy News and Joy Prime for partnering us to actually bring out the issues for the general public to actually see what is happening in our communities. And when we did the first series, it was revealing and telling of how communities were actually suffering, how children were suffering. And then we said, okay, haven't done this series, let's go back and then see what is happening. And when we actually went back and did the second series, we realized that there has been a lot of improvement. And one of the key improvements, I am so
overwhelmed.
I really, yes, proud of is the fact that the communities themselves are taking, their own actions to make sure that education thrives in their communities, to make sure that their children are in school. And we have seen communities actually build, teacher quarters, contributed to actually start school feeding program in their communities. And so for me, this is a way to go. When communities take up issues themselves, it means that development will be sustainable in those communities. And we have also noted that when we, showed the series, corporate organizations came out to actually support. In some communities, they have donated furniture, and then they have built, teachers' bungalows, and then in some communities, they have sunk boreholes just to support children to go to school. And so for us, we think it's something to worthy of talking about.
And all of that, I'm happy you mentioned, accommodation for teachers and what have you. How have that also impacted teacher retention, which is a major issue for schools in rural Ghana?
Yes, I think lack of accommodation has negatively impacted teacher retention. In most of the communities we work, they are far away from, the urban areas, and teachers don't have accommodation. So teachers commute. They go late and then they return early. So children just have 2 to 3 hours of contact. And this actually affects learning. And in some of the communities that even have accommodation, they are not actually okay for the teachers to stay. So you go to some communities and you will see a teacher's accommodation, but it's not well, let's say, furnished, or it is not up to standard.
Okay.
And so that kind of, struggle to actually live in the rural communities also affects learning, because the teachers always have to be commuting, and it's not helping learning in our communities.
Okay, all right. Now, recently we know government announced some major, opportunities for teachers. They are trying to recruit more teachers, but we always say there's a disconnect between that and the teachers that we have at the rural areas. Where is the challenge coming from in terms of government employing more, but we still don't have more teachers at in rural schools?
Yeah, I think it's a sad thing to say that we seem to have more teachers, but we still have empty classrooms. In northern Ghana, we still have about 68% of teacher vacancies not filled. But if you look at the national statistics, it tells us that we have enough teachers. The pupil-teacher ratio tells us that we have enough teachers. But it masks, the serious, shortages we have in the rural areas. And so if you go deep into the rural areas, you realize that, as you are showing on the screen, there are so many children in the schools, but the teachers are not enough. And so if you, for instance, you have a classroom of, a school having 6 classroom blocks, and then they have 6 teachers. Okay, it's okay. If that block, then 3 teachers, it means that the teachers will be doing multi-grade teaching, and that doesn't help. And in most of our communities, that's what we have. We have so many schools that have just 1, 2 teachers. So it means that so many children are losing out. And so it's about equity, making sure that every child actually has a teacher. And what that means is that in some areas, you will have teachers teaching fewer children, and in some areas, you will have teachers teaching more children. So that kind of balancing is what we should be wary of. And then we should not just be looking at the averages. The averages actually marks up the real issues on the ground. And so, yes, that is the disconnect. I think it has to do with the fact that we haven't done effective teacher deployment over the years. And so we have so many of the teachers being in cities and urban centers.
But again, why is it just about the distribution, or teachers who come to rural Ghana and will put in application or request for them to be transferred from the rural area to an urban center? So what is causing that? Isn't teachers don't want to stay in rural Ghana, or there's something causing teachers not to like rural Ghana?
Yes, you would agree with me that rural life is not the same as urban life. And so the challenges of living and working in rural areas is something that is actually driving teachers away. But then the way we also handle it as policy makers and policy implementers also contribute to this. For instance, in the previous 2024 and beyond, teachers were posted directly from the national level to the districts sometimes without the knowledge of the district director of education. And when they come and see the area and then they feel that they don't like the area, they find their way out again, without the knowledge of the directorates. And so this has actually also caused that. If we had a system where, district directorates take charge of the posting of teachers, I think it would have helped. And so that is one of the issues that is causing this kind of disconnect in the rural areas.
Now, we are all anticipating the Crumbling Start Season 2. What must we look out for? What will we be seeing in Season 2?
Yes, so like I said, in Season 1, we went around to actually highlight the issues, the gaps in infrastructure, the gaps in the teacher supply, gaps in, teaching learning resources, including furniture. And so in Season 2, what we have done is we went back to see whether what we highlighted, there have been some changes. And so you look out for the changes that are occurring in the communities, where communities now come out to say that we are going to start our own school feeding program because of the agency we have built in them. We are going to support teachers to build teachers' quarters. And then we also see corporate institutions coming in to support in building teachers' quarters, building classrooms. And so that is what Season 2 has actually captured. Look out for that, and it's very revealing and interesting, and it gives hope that if we actually highlight issues, it's not only just the government. The government has done, addressed some of the issues, but corporate institutions and individuals have also come out to support. This shows that as a country, we are willing to support one another if the issues are actually highlighted.
Okay. All right. I'm grateful to you for joining us here, and we look forward to season 2 of Crumbling Starts. So
thank you very much for having me.
He's the head of programs and partnerships at School for Life, our partner institution in this Crumbling Starts series. Ayuba Abukari. This is still the Joy News, the AM show on the Joy News channel. We'll take a break here. We will return with much more, plus the e-corner later on the show. Do stay. Welcome back to it. Let's talk to Rotary, and because there's something they're doing, right? Now, you know Rotary, they are an organization that does a lot of good, but they are here. I won't tell their story for them. They will tell you themselves. Joining us today for us to talk about it, Nana Yasrebo is District Governor, Rotary District 9104. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
9104, 9104.
9104.
Okay. Parkwesi Thompson is Charter President, Rotary Club of Accra, Moba Gehe. Is that it?
Yes.
Moba Gehe. That's Mfantsipim.
Yeah, so Moba is the Old Students Association of Mfantsipim.
Yeah, I know about that. Yeah. But you also have a Rotary that,
yes.
Okay, you. Nana Basego is past president, Rotary Club of Accra, Sunrise. Yes. Okay, good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming. Master, I'll start with you. It will say Rotary. Maybe this is the first time the person's getting to know about Rotary. Who are you?
Rotary is a service organization. It is made up of clubs. The clubs are made up of members who are referred to as Rotarians. It is a large family, and it started in the year 1905 by a lawyer, the name Paul Harris, together with 3 friends during the time of depression, decided to come together and they would meet and discuss life. And then they decided to go ahead and do more just by meeting and talking about life, but also to look at how they could also help society during the period of the Great Depression. And so they would have meetings rotating in different offices. The name Rotary coming about that.
All right.
And the first was to do that, so they gathered friends, and along the way, more people became interested and wanted to be part of the family of Rotary. Currently, we're over 1 million Rotarians. We have Rotractors. These are younger ones, those who are in the tertiary institution, or sometimes we have some community-based Rotract clubs. And then we have Interact. These are for young ones who are in senior high schools or middle schools, and we start growing them very young to get into the business of knowing how to give back to society. So from secondary school, you move on to the tertiary, or you are in a community where you know you can give, and then you move on. Rotary has done a whole lot. Now, the Charitable Navigator has voted us for the 17th year as the best charitable organization.
Ghana.
Why is that? Not Ghana, the whole world.
Okay.
Why is that so? It is because of the good we do in the world. We have a foundation, members contribute to the foundation, and we use the monies we've generated from the foundation to serve our communities. We've been providing potable drinking water. Our flagship project is to eradicate polio completely from the surface of the earth, which we've done so well. We have 2 countries all in the whole world that have the wild polio virus cases, Afghanistan and Pakistan. And we're looking forward to, by the year 2030, we would not have any polio virus. We've also been refurbishing schools. We've been also providing educational materials. We've also given people scholarships to go and study abroad. We've also been preventing diseases. One of it is polio and other cases. We also go into communities. We educate people. We talk to leaders to prevent conflicts. We also look at protecting our environment.
That's several things you do, right?
A whole lot.
We'll need the whole day to talk about it because of what I know about Rotary. Let me bring in Pakwesi. Pakwesi, there's something happening tomorrow, right? What is it?
So tomorrow is the charter night for. So a charter night is when you join Rotary, and you're a new member, and there's a new club. You are chartered. It's like a ceremony. Let's say like a naming ceremony. So we have our charter night. So the old association, the MOBA, that's Infantsem Old Boys Association, and Wesley Girls Old Girls Association, have merged to form a Rotary club.
Okay.
And also, though it's MOBA Gehe, it's not just for old students of MOBA Gehe, it's open to everyone. And I hope you'll be a member.
Oh, yeah.
And also, you're invited for the charter night. Okay, so our charter night is tomorrow, but our meetings are on Thursday, 6 for 6:30.
Okay. Yeah. Where?
So the charter night is tomorrow at Accra City. And our meetings are also the same place on Thursdays.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You see me there. Because I'd love to be part so that we can help change, the face of our communities. And then to you, Nana Basego, what will be happening tomorrow at this event?
Okay, so tomorrow is bringing together so many Rotarians and families and guests. There's going to be fellowship, there's going to be pinning of our chartered members, there's going to be food, dance, speeches, and a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's happening what time, Papa?
So tomorrow is 6:30.
6:30. Yeah. Okay. And then after that, after one has been chartered, what happens?
So after we've been chartered, we continue doing the good jobs Rotary has been doing over the years, and also to build a membership, and to build a membership to more than 1 million, and also continuing the good works, eradicating polio, building schools, and all that.
What do I need to be part of Rotary? What do I need to be part of Rotary?
So you'll first be invited by a Rotarian to a meeting.
Okay.
And when you like what is going on at the meeting, you can then continue to attend the meeting and then express your interest to your sponsor, who is the person who invited you. Apart from one club, you can visit all other clubs, and then you can determine, I want to belong here. Why are the two ladies here with him? He's from Infantsem. The two of us are old girls of Wesley Girls High School.
Oh, okay.
And we're very proud to say that.
Get ahead.
So this is an opportunity to invite all old girls of Wesley Girls High School. Come and join the bandwagon. Come and support us. Let's come together to build our communities and do good in the world. This year, our theme from our Rotary International president is Unite for Good. And what other better theme can we have than this? Uniting for good to support our society, to eradicate the so many evil going on around us. So if we unite for good for a common purpose, we can create lasting impact, which is the theme for the next Rotary year. Rotary starts 1st July, ends 30th June. So, Mr. Brace, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And
you said it's 6:30, yeah?
Yes, please.
Okay, 6:30.
I know you are doing your rep, your jersey program.
Yes.
But after 4...
So can I come in there in my jersey?
This is a black tie event.
That's the thing.
Or you could wear a two-piece agbada.
No, because I'm asking because I'll be at the Aviation Social Center with the...
So there are washrooms and change rooms. So
a quick change, and then you join us.
Okay, so I have to be in black tie.
Not necessarily. It could be a two-piece agbada. Okay. But let's give some formality to the program. So let's...
Okay. My dad had to tell me I don't understand what black tie event means. It means that executive.
You're pulling my leg on that. And for that, when you come, I'll find you.
Okay. Anyway, I also invite my old student who attended Badubonso Senior High Technical School. Come, let's go and take solace from the Mobage people so that we can use that experience.
Apart from us, we've also started, we already have an existing Rotary Club made up of old students of Achimota School.
Okay.
Achimota Grey City.
Okay.
We also have old students of Presec and Ebri Girls. So we call that Rotary Club of Odadie Awoga.
Okay.
So this is the third Rotary Club we are forming.
The fourth of it should be for the one, so all right, I'll tell you.
That would be no problem.
Yeah.
Let's come together and help.
Yeah.
The government cannot do it alone. It is our responsibility to build a better society.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for this. And so it's tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. at the Accra City Hotel. Let us meet there and have this, event together. Nana, before we go, maybe your last words, just in some 20 seconds.
To all of us, this is a humble appeal. Let us all do our best. Let us support society. Come join us tomorrow evening. All students of the various schools, the two topmost schools in the country, in Fanspen and Wesley Girls, are inviting you. Come and join us and let's have fun. Our guest speaker, I don't want to mention his name for now. I keep it a secret, but when you come, you will get to know who it is.
Okay, two top schools in Ghana. That's what it is. Bagwezi, 10 seconds.
Invitation to everyone to join us, all students and non-old students. And it's going to be a night of glam, and join us to do good.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. They say my time is up, so you have to join. You join them in inviting people. So Nana Yasrebo is District Governor, Rotary District 9104. Bagwezi Thompson is Charter President, Rotary Club of Accra, Mobile Gehe. And then Nana Abasego is past President, Rotary Club of Accra Sunrise. Okay, thank you very much. You see me there tomorrow. So we'll begin the journey of impacting our communities together. That's it there. But before I take a leave of you, happy birthday to you. Okay, this is belated, but belated birthday to you. Yesterday was your first birthday. To our amazing daughter, Treasurer Ohima Kofi. As you turn 1, we pray for God's continued blessings and strength in your life. Love and cherish you, our baby. This is from your mother, siblings, aunties, and your father, Mr. Vincent Kofi of Atsenka TV and Atsenka FM. Vincent is my homeboy from my home. Amen to you, Treasurer Ohima Kofi. I order Baba Bay, FM Moa, Yamana Zakana, Wabimania Wane, Nakozro, Nani by the Baba Magana, Yan Daso. We'll take a break, we'll be back with more fair. All right, so welcome back. Let's do this. Darlington Akogo is founder and CEO, Mino Health AI and Kara Agro AI. He's also chair AI for Radiology, United Nations. And George Ejabeng is head of Innovation, Associate General. Oh, okay. All right. Good to have you here.
Good to be here. Thank you for having us.
Okay, let's talk about, a lot of things bothering on Ghana and where we all need to do. Now, in terms of, let me start with this one. We're talking about innovations, right?
Yes.
Now, Darlington, with your experience in health tech, what is the biggest ethical friction that we face when trying to display AI in sensitive areas like radiology?
Yeah, so I wouldn't say necessarily it's an ethical friction, but what is needed and what you usually face when implementing AI is balancing the speed of innovation and ensuring safety, right? So for example, some of the things we do is that we have an generative AI platform called Moremi AI, which can support screening, diagnosis, treatment, planning, prescription of several diseases. But the AI is powerful. You don't want to create the impression where doctors, clinical professionals over-rely on AI. So the final decision-making needs to always fall back to the human. So let the AI suggest that based on me looking at this mammogram,
I think there's a nodule here which might be signs of breast cancer. But I am pointing out to you, the radiologist, to review and confirm whether there is in fact breast cancer there. Because there are serious implications if you diagnose someone of having breast cancer. So AI is progressing very rapidly. The technology is becoming very powerful. But we do not want to create the impression that medical doctors are not always going to have the final.
How foolproof is this?
So look at it this way. If what you're doing, right, in preparation of this, you have a whole team that you work with, right? At the end of the day, you are on air and you decide what to say and what not to say.
Yeah.
So let's say if there's a questionable question that makes it into the list of questions you have to answer, you have to ask, and you look at it at that point, you make a final judgment as an experienced person and say, no, I'm not going to ask this question. It's the same way. So AI is brilliant. It can retrieve information much faster than humans can do.
Okay.
It can go read the entire standard treatment guideline from Ghana Health Service in seconds and produce the key result. By medical doctors, you use that human judgment to always cancel it out. The thing is that human judgment is great, but our ability to retain and retrieve information rapidly is limited. So if you go and see your doctor, he's sitting with you. He can't go and look at your last 20 years medical history in an instant.
Okay.
But he needs those information because that's going to influence the way he diagnoses you, what he prescribes for treatment. Let an AI do that. Let an AI quickly retrieve what is needed, present it to the doctor, and let the doctor use his judgment to make conclusions. So if we combine the power of AI and the power of human judgment, we can have much, much better healthcare outcomes.
George, let me bring you in here because you work in the financial space. Now, where do you draw the balance between AI adoption and the security that is required? It's people's money.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, innovation is exciting. You know, we get to test new theories, try new things. But we should also bear in mind that it is people's money that we are dealing with. If we follow the innovation or the new tech of it and decide that, oh, let's try it because it's an in thing, a bug could mean that what? Someone's money being lost. Your rent, school fees, pensions, and all being lost. So it is important that in the industry, we are looking at AI more from the lens of responsible innovation. That means what? Let's test. But at the same time, let's ensure that we know what the AI is giving us is also humanly centered. In all this, we should be careful that we know what the model is. Where is the data even being stored? You know, so at the end of the day, we are not looking at a question of security versus AI or technology, but we are looking at secured AI. Because through that, we can then get to have things done faster than usual, right?
Let me bring you in again, Darlington. Now, we know that these innovations, they start from the West. So usually it's built to suit the West. Now, at the Pan-African AI Summit, how are we ensuring that, you know, we build this AI to take into consideration our local needs as Africans?
I'll actually challenge the notion that they come from the West.
Okay.
I would say no group, no society has a monopoly on innovation.
Okay.
Right? We are seeing what the Chinese automobile companies are doing
now.
The Westerners, right?
Yeah.
Because Europe and America are very confident that we are the upper echelon of innovation. And then, you know, Chinese are building what they are selling for $100,000 for $10,000 and even better technology. So let's take the same approach. AI has been around for quite some years, even within Ghana. So for example, we started Mino Health literally 10 years ago. A number of the AI companies that are popular today did not exist 10 years ago. Anthropic, the makers of Claude, did not exist 10 years, which means that we've been doing AI longer than Anthropic has been doing.
So 10 years ago, you were using AI?
Yes, right here in Ghana, we founded Mino Health AI Labs. We were doing deep learning, so modern day AI 10 years ago, right? And it was super new around that time. That's when I also got involved with the UN and stuff like that. So the whole point, and it was not just me, we had a number of people in the ecosystem. You had researchers in university doing AI. So on one hand, it's not that we now need to take AI and make it Ghanaian or African. We've always been doing that. What we've lacked and we now need to do more of is scaling what we are doing. So we need to produce, we've done a good job producing Ghanaian data. We now have Ghanaian data in healthcare. We have Ghanaian data in agriculture. There's a lot of Ghanaian data in finance.
Yeah.
We now need to produce solutions that are on massive scales. The good thing I can say for us right now with our AI, Moremi AI, we get usage in 50 countries around the world. We've partnered with governments of Ghana. We're partnering with governments within the Caribbean. But still, there's a lot of work to be done to achieve that scale. And we need to produce a lot of language data. There are teams that have been doing it. We have Ghana NLP. They've produced language data and even created AI systems that can speak Tree. And there was the famous Apple AI, and then that's gone viral on Twitter and everything. But especially if we bring in a national AI strategy. So I served as the co-lead for the national AI strategy.
Wrap up for me because of
that. Yes. So one of the things we put in there is that we need to produce what is called 1 trillion tokens of Ghanaian unique data sets.
Okay.
So we need to take every data we are creating and scale it up.
Okay. Yes. All right. That's it. I would love to engage you. I think that you have to come back here so that we can have this conversation. But I'm grateful to you guys for coming. George Ejabeng is head of innovation at Societe Generale. And then George Darlington Akogo. Darlington Akogo is founder and CEO of Mino Health AI, Carag Agro AI, and chair of the AI for Radiology UN. Well, my name is Samuel Kojo. Gentlemen, thank you for coming. We'll leave the stage for Noella Ariane Yale to bring you a corner. Please stay on for that.